There's a powerful question that most people avoid asking themselves. Who am I really, when everything I was taught is stripped away? Not your name, not your background, not the expectations placed on you, but your true identity. And no character embodies this internal struggle more deeply than Sabo from One Piece. Because Sabo's journey is not just about strength or status. It's about breaking away from a false identity, losing himself completely, and then rebuilding who he truly is from the ground up. Sabo was born into privilege, a noble family, wealth, status, and a clear path laid out for him. From the outside, his life looked perfect. But psychologically, this is where his conflict begins. Because everything he was given came with expectations, rules, limitations. His identity was pre-written for him. He wasn't meant to choose who he would become, he was meant to fulfill a role. And this is something many people experience in real life. You're born into a system, family beliefs, societal expectations, cultural norms, and before you even understand yourself, you're already being shaped into someone you didn't consciously choose to be. Sabo felt that pressure deeply. He saw the corruption behind the noble class, the inequality, the lack of humanity, and something inside him rejected it. This is the first stage of identity transformation, awareness. The moment you realize that the life you're living doesn't align with who you truly are. And that moment is uncomfortable, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. So Sabo makes a decision that most people are too afraid to make. He walks away. He rejects the identity given to him. He chooses uncertainty over comfort. And psychologically, this is one of the most difficult things a person can do. Because when you leave behind what you know, you don't immediately find yourself. You enter a phase of chaos, confusion, disconnection. And for Sabo, that chaos becomes literal. He loses his memory. Now think about what that represents. Memory is not just recollection, it's identity. It's your story, your experiences, your sense of self. When Sabo loses his memory, he doesn't just forget his past, he loses who he was. And this creates one of the deepest psychological states a person can experience: identity void. In real life, you don't have to lose your memory to experience this. It can happen when you go through major life changes, losing a job, ending a relationship, leaving a belief system, or stepping away from a version of yourself that no longer fits. You reach a point where you don't fully recognize who you are anymore, and that space can feel empty. But here's where Sabo's story becomes powerful. Instead of collapsing in that emptiness, he rebuilds. He is taken in by the Revolutionary Army, guided by Monkey D. Dragon, and slowly begins to form a new identity. Not one that was forced on him, but one that is chosen. And this is the second stage of transformation: reconstruction. Sabo doesn't become who he was before. He becomes something new. Someone aligned with values, purpose, and awareness. He chooses a path that stands against injustice, not because he was told to, but because he understands it. And this is the difference between inherited identity and earned identity. Inherited identity is passive. It's given to you. Earned identity is active. You build it through experience, reflection, and choice. But Sabo's journey doesn't stop there. There's a moment that changes everything: the death of Portcast Ace. When Sabo regains his memories, everything comes rushing back. His childhood, his bond with Monkey D. Luffy and Ace. And along with that, comes pain, regret, the realization that he wasn't there when it mattered most. And this introduces another psychological layer: emotional integration. Because rebuilding your identity is not just about moving forward, it's about facing what you've lost, accepting it, learning from it, and allowing it to shape you without breaking you. He channels it. He inherits Ace's will, not just symbolically, but psychologically. He carries forward the values, the fire, the spirit. And this becomes a core part of his identity, not as a replacement, but as an evolution. This is something many people struggle with. When you lose someone or lose a part of yourself, the instinct is either to hold on too tightly or to detach completely. But growth happens in the middle. When you integrate the past into who you are becoming, Sabo becomes stronger, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. He stands for something. And that's the final stage of identity: purpose. Because identity without purpose is unstable. It shifts with circumstances. It reacts to external forces. But when your identity is rooted in purpose, it becomes resilient, grounded, directed. Sabo is no longer defined by where he came from or what he lost. He is defined by what he stands for. And that's the lesson. You are not your past. You are not the expectations placed on you. You are not even the mistakes you've made. You are what you choose to build from all of it. Sabo's journey shows you that identity is not fixed. It's fluid. It can be broken, lost, rebuilt, and strengthened. But it requires courage. The courage to question. The courage to walk away. The courage to face yourself without labels. And the courage to rebuild with intention. Because at some point in your life, you will face your own version of this question. Is the person I am truly who I want to be? And when that moment comes, remember Sabo. Not as a character, but as a blueprint. A reminder that losing yourself is not the end. It can be the beginning of becoming who you were meant to be all along.